So recently we had just had another active shooter event. This one was in Australia, as well as in a couple other areas locally within the United States. But I wanted to talk about a scenario that came up during an interview. By the way, my name is Mike. I teach safety and defense tactics to company and individuals. A couple years back, there was a massive active shooter incident at the MGM Casino and Hotel in Las Vegas. And after the event, a couple days after, I had the opportunity, I interviewed about 26, 27 victims and people that were there at the concert. And I got a really powerful takeaway I wanted to share with you today. So there was a young lady that attended with her boyfriend and her sister. They were there watching the show. It was a country concert. She said they had great seats. They were very close up front. She said they were enjoying the show, having a great time. And then all of a sudden she heard it. Boom, boom. She heard all the popping. And she said, the first thing I thought of is, wow, what kind of a jerk brings firecrackers to a concert? She said, I never ever thought, I never even considered that it could have been gunfire. So number one, that's the first issue I wanted to discuss. It's what happens next that really concerns me. She said, once they realized what happened, she said, that's the last thing I can remember. And what she did is she suddenly dropped to the ground. She closed her eyes, she covered her ears, and she kind of went in a fetal position. Apparently, she was told that she started screaming at the top of her lungs, this is not happening, this is not happening. And she basically kind of checked out. Some people call it, referred to as almost like an ostrich putting their head in the sand. The bottom line is it was a disbelief on what was going on, and it was just a complete panic and shock that took over. She said, the next thing I remember, her sister literally slapped her across her face to shake her as her boyfriend was standing her up. Once she realized what was going on, all three of them stood up. They started running towards the exit. She said she heard more shots. She kind of turned to look at the crowd and the shots. She turned back, and there were so many people that got in between her and her family that she got separated. She could not find or see which direction they went. So a quick little tip I'm going to say is if you happen to get out in an emergency, hold on to the person or your family member, hold on to their belt or the back of their shirt. Try to make like a daisy chain and don't get separated. Anyway, she said she followed the crowd. She ran to the back fence line, and sure enough, it was a chain link fence. She said, I'll never wear flip-flops again in public. She did not have the ability to climb the fence because of the shoes she was wearing. So proper footwear, it's also something to think about. She said there were screams everywhere. Finally, she felt someone grab her by her rear and push her over a fence. She went over the fence. She fell down. She actually broke her ankle, landed. She crawled about 20 yards to a car, and she hid under a car. She said, I pulled my cell phone out. First thing I did is went to call my boyfriend. Well, because they were together at the concert, his phone was with her in the purse. So her purse started ringing, and she realized, oh, wow, I can't even get a hold of my boyfriend. So she called the police. She said, Mike, I never realized that the police could not be there and answer for you.